Yeah. So an embryo is round. If you can imagine, it's a sphere, but when we look at it under the microscope, it kind of just looks like a circle because we're seeing it in a 2D plane. And so when we look at the size of the embryo and how expanded it is, that is the number that you're going to see at the beginning of your embryo. And the size or the expansion can change as it starts to actually kind of hatch out through, we kind of call it the shell of it, through the zota, right? It will start to hatch, and then sometimes they can completely hatch out. So the number that's given to it really depends on how big is it getting and how much has it hatched out of its shell or even completely hatched out.
Yes. And one of the common questions that I'll get about this part of the embryo grading score is what is considered a good number. And this is kind of interesting because you would think maybe the highest on the scale might be the best number, but that's a little bit controversial, I've seen. And the reason for that is a 6, that's the highest. A 6 means the embryo has completely hatched out of itself. And that's great. It means that embryo is growing and advancing and everything. But here's the thing, sometimes those can be a little bit more difficult to actually transfer because without that protective shell, sometimes it's even harder to survive the freeze and the thaw.